I'm Joshua with NetSciences. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're a small systems integrator. We build and support networks for small businesses, typically 5 to 100 user size. We'd had a long time flirting with the whole concept of two-factor authentication, trying to find a solution that was both reliable and easy enough to implement, that we could go out and do it in an afternoon. And of course, cost was a factor. New Mexico is a fairly cost-sensitive market. And after looking at everything from native capabilities in the SonicWall one-time password from SonicWall and other products, we decided that a physical key had the air of authenticity or of security that our customers were looking for. And after doing quite a few SSL VPN implementations with SonicWall, I realized that the big hole in the wall, so to speak, is that when a customer has an employee leave, and as long as they have any valid credentials on the network, not necessarily theirs, which will be deactivated, they have access to that network through SSL VPN. So there's really no secure way we can shut down that access for these customers once somebody leaves. If they knew somebody else's password and username, they were in. And the token, the AuthAnvil product, really addressed both issues, the need for the greater security and the, how you would say, the turnover resolution. It's really not difficult in any sense, and I should point out that we use it in our own shop now just for remote access to other sites, but in the near future we're probably going to require tokens for all sorts of network access, and it'll give me the same advantage that the other folks have, that if I lose somebody, I can shut down their access very effectively. For us, it's a no-brainer. It's a very simple, it's great ROI. Expressing to customers how that buys them value, it's a little bit of the insurance sales model. People really aren't going to be able to calculate ROI of carrying a key, but they can understand that it's a very inexpensive way to provide a tremendously effective additional layer of security. And for the few sites that really do have the turnover, they don't even really have to calculate anything. That's just the cost of hiring an employee, and it's very inexpensive, so it's really not hard to sell. I was actually very favorably impressed. I've had 21 years in this industry, and software is not an industry that's known for customer service, and Scorpion's been a real exception for us. Ethan, who is our primary tech on this product, had absolutely no trouble reaching anybody. We had, I think, an hour and a half ride-along installation that you may have been involved in, or others of your staff perhaps, and he said the whole experience was really good. As a matter of fact, it went a little further past that time because they had some kind of conceptual questions they ran through, and then Ethan was very excited to show me all the capabilities. He really enjoyed doing it, and part of the enthusiasm was the fact that he didn't have to struggle for weeks on his own to learn. He picked up the phone, got some really good direction from people who are extremely intelligent and capable. So that puts you in the 1 out of 100 range in software, I would say. One of the advantages that we see in the near future is that clearly the #1 support issue we're going to have is people who can't seem to remember their token, and typically those people will be partners in law firms traveling overseas and be calling us at 4 o'clock in the morning if they're reliant on a physical token that's in another country. So I think soft tokens will probably be the answer for the forgetful many, and I just like the idea that they're not compelled to have a physical piece of hardware with them. Some people won't get the feeling of security without that, and other people will understand the concept. And I think the tokens are going to be great for us. And I like the idea that we can generate them to the phone. That it's just going to be great. One of the things about being able to offer these hardware tokens or two-factor authentication is it really sets you apart from a lot of the small players in your field. In New Mexico, there's only a couple other companies that actually, a couple other VARs like us, that can offer those tokens, and it really is, it affords you a level of professionalism and of competence, or at least a perception of that you don't get without the ability to offer that. And of course, it is truly an extraordinary level of security. There really isn't another way to directly cut somebody off from access to your sites with the ease of just unclicking a box. They really are great for that. If there was ever any legal proceedings against a company with remote access to various sites, one of the things that you'd immediately have to demonstrate is the procedures you have in place to protect the clients that you provide access to. And if your answer was, well, when the guy left my tech, we disabled his account, it went no further than that, anybody who knew what they were doing would realize that that's not really an answer to that question. So the very fact that you have a physical token system in place and a procedure to disable that access would have to play in your favor if it ever came down to actually being in court. But long before that, just the idea that I can safely release an employee or occasionally just have one leave without any concerns, because as I've heard from other people, the only turnover we've had in the last few years had to be coordinated for a month in advance, and it required us to be connected to 28 sites remotely minutes after the termination. We even changed our service provider, therefore our external subnet. We changed all of the server passwords, we changed remote access passwords, and we connected to every site and changed their server and firewall and remote access passwords. That was an entire day's work for 2 people. That was probably more than we needed to do, but it was something I felt was important because of the circumstances. That won't ever have to happen again. Well, it was certainly simple to implement, surprisingly so. Ethan had this going in less than 2 hours, and that was with absolutely no previous experience in this sort of stuff in two-factor authentication. It took us perhaps another 1 hour to puzzle through how to actually apply it to the SSL VPN product. We had to figure out, hey, we need a Radius server, and hey, guess what? Scorpion provided us one. There was really no tremendous difficulties at all. It was very straightforward. If you've ever done anything like try to figure out how to migrate a SharePoint site or troubleshoot backup exec errors, this is trivial. And that was just what we had done in the days before, so we were already a little frazzled. And it was remarkably simple to implement. It's very elegant. The operation of the interface, and both the interface's look and the operation of the product and the architecture of the product are simple and elegant. I was very impressed with it.